Hello students, in the last video we started with exercise 1b, okay, and we did what is rational irrational numbers, then few questions. The most important questions we started with were these. Question number 13, where we did write in ascending order. Ascending means small to big. So there were two numbers like this given in root form. So we simplified them first. How I simplified them? Whichever number was outside the root sign was sent in. That means this 3 went inside the root. It became 9. It got squared. Okay. So if I went to 9, I got root 49. And here in the same way, this 4 went inside the root and became 16. So 3 into 16 is 48. This is how I get the two numbers. Now, once they are inside the root sign, I can directly compare them. Because see, both roots are same. This is also a square root, this is also a square root. So comparison was easy. I could see that this is 49, this is 48. So 48 is greater than 45 and 48. So this 48 is greater than 45. So I can easily write that. This is how the ascending order. Ascending order means this is the smaller number. According to the question is this. And then the bigger number is this. So I can write it like this. 3 root 5 is less than 4 root 3. Less than because this is a smaller number. So this was the first sum of ascending order. Then we did this sum of cube root. So what was the difference here? That this 2 when went inside got cubed. So 5 into 8 cube root. 2 into 27 cube root, like this. Then I got this. Then small to big. So I got 40 and 54. I know 54 is greater. So 3 cube root of 2 was greater than 2 cube root of 5. Then we did with 3 numbers also. In the same manner, 6 went inside, became 36. 7 root 3, 7 went inside, became 49. 8 went inside, became 64. We compared them. So this was the smaller one. Smaller one is 8 root 2. 128 is smaller one, so it will come first. That is 8 root 2. Then second is this 147, which is 7 root 2. So then second root 2. And then the biggest number was this. So 6 root 5 come in the end. This is how we did. In question number 14, we did the same thing. But this was descending order. That means the bigger number will come first and then the smaller number. Okay, so here you see 4th root of 96 and 4th root of 162. The bigger number is 162. 162 is 3/4 root of 2. So that comes first. And then it is greater than the smaller one. So descending means the bigger number will come first. So based on that, we did question number 14, first and second sum. Okay. Then today we'll start from question number 15. Okay. Where we have to compare. Question number 15. See, understand the difference between again and again I repeat this thing because students repeatedly make mistakes while solving the sum. That when the 4 is written inside the root, like this, inside this gap, the root sign, it means 4th root. But when the 4 is outside, so this 4 is a number, so it is 4 root, let's say it is 2. So this is called as 4th root of 2. And this is called as 4 root 2 because 4 is a number. This is square root. This is a normal square root and then 2. This is not a normal square root. This is a 4th root. There is no number outside. But this 4 indicates it is a 4th root. Okay. Fine. Now we have to compare these two. Okay. You can see there is no number outside here to send it inside. Okay. And we cannot even directly compare. See the two conditions because of which we'll use a new method now. What are the two conditions? First one, there is no number outside. There is no number outside the square root to send inside. Okay, and the most important reason here is one is 6th root and one is 4th root. We cannot compare them directly, that which is bigger. It looks like 15 is there, here 12 is there, so 15 is greater. We cannot say, because this is a 6th root and this is a 4th root. So these roots are different. They are different. They are of different order. Okay, so the roots are different. So because the roots are different, we cannot directly compare them. So how to compare? To make the comparison, we'll follow a different method. Now let's see. 6th root of 15 and 4th root of 12. This is my question. See, in indices, I have explained you that this 6th root of 15 can be written as 15 raised to 1 upon 6. I hope you remember. Even if not, again I'll repeat that this 6th root means 1 upon 6 in the power. Like the square root means 1 upon 2 in the power. In the same way, 6th root means 1 upon 6 in the power. 4th root means 1 upon 4 in the power. Okay, so 15, this 6th root is written as 1 upon 6, 12 is written as 1 upon 4. Now the powers are not same. I cannot compare directly. So let's make the power same. How? I'll take the LCM of these two denominators in the power, 6 and 4. So what is the LCM of 6 and 4? LCM of 6 and 4 is 12. Okay, so I'll write it as 15. This 6 to make it 12, I'll multiply it with 2, the numerator and denominator. And 1 upon 4 to make it 12, I'll multiply it with 3. Okay, so this can be written as 2 upon 12, and this 1 upon 4 can be written as 3 upon 12. Okay, see, I'll give you the steps also. What I'm doing, I'll write it in words also so you understand properly. Because these are typical sums. There is only this one sum, question number 15, based on this method, which has 2 sub questions. So there is not much variety to practice also. Now, okay. So the first step was to take LCM of powers. Now the second step is, you got the denominator same in the power, 12, but the numerators are different. So what we'll do, we'll separate this numerator. We'll write this numerator on the side. We'll remove this numerator from the fraction. How? See, in the simple manner, this 2 upon 12 can be written as 2 into 1 upon 12. Okay, 2 is in the numerator. So this, for example, 2 upon 12 is nothing but 2 into 1 upon 12. Okay, this is what I am doing. Okay, this is compulsory to do it. We have to do it. It was written as 2 upon 12. This 12 can be written as 3 into 1 upon 12. See, 3 upon 12. Whatever numerator you have, just write it outside the fraction. So it became like this. Okay, this was my second step, to separate the numerator. Okay, first step was to take the LCM of powers, and second step to separate the numerators. Now the numerator is separated. Now this 15 raised to 2 into 1 upon 12. So I'll find the value of 15 raised to 2. See, 15 power 2. What is the value? 15 square means 225 to the power 1 upon 12. Here I'll take 12 cube. 12 cube. What is 12 cube? Try the multiplication for 12 cube. You will get the answer as 1728. this 12 cube answer you will get 1728, and in the power I have 1 upon 12. Why I did this, why I took this 2 and 3 separately, so that now you see the powers are same, 1 upon 12, 1 upon 12, both the powers are same. Now I can easily compare the numbers. Which numbers seem to be bigger? 1728 is bigger. So that is why I can write that 225 raised to 1 upon 12 is smaller than 1728 1 upon 12. But the final answer must be written in the form of question. So this 225 raised to 1 upon 12 is nothing but 6th root of 15. So I'll write 6th root of 15 is smaller than 4th root of 12. Okay, so what steps did we follow? I'll write in more detail here. You can copy it in your textbook somewhere near the sum itself. That first, convert the root sign into ratio. Convert the root sign into ratio means this root sign, 6th root and 4th root were converted into ratios. 6th root is 1 upon 6, 4th root is 1 upon 4. Then the second step, take LCM of powers. Okay, in the third step, separate the numerator. Separate the numerator, and in the fourth step, make powers same. These are the steps which I am following in this question. So first I convert the root sign into ratios. Then I took the LCM of the powers. I got 2 upon 12, 3 upon 12. Then I separate the numerators, 2 separate, 3 separate. So 2 into 1 upon 12, 3 into 1 upon 12. Then make the powers same. Powers same means calculate this value, 15 square. 15 square became 225 raised to 1 upon 12. 12 cube became 1728 raised to 1 upon 12. So powers are same now. Now easily compare which is bigger. This is my answer. Okay. Copy this statements, copy this sum quickly. Next sum. Now we have the sum. Square root of 24 and cube root of 35. This, see, square root, if there is no number here, means it is a square root, means basically it is 2. If you get confused, remember, if there is no number written here, means it is a square root. Square root means 2. Okay. So first my step is to convert the root sign into ratio. So let's convert the root sign into ratio. So this will become 24 raised to 1 upon 2, and this 35 will become 35 raised to 1 upon 3. Second step is to take LCM of the powers. Let's take LCM of the powers. 24, 1 upon 2 and 1 upon 3. 2 and 3, LCM is 6. For 2 and 3, the LCM is 6. So this will get multiplied with 3. And this will get multiplied with 2. So I'll get 3 upon 6, 35 raised to 2 upon 6. Okay. Third step is to separate the numerator. So let's separate the numerator. 24 raised to 3 upon 6 will be written as 3 into 1 upon 6. Separate the numerator, 3 into 1 upon 6. And 35 will be written as 2 into 1 upon 6. I have separated the numerator here also. Okay. The next step is make powers same. So basically 24 cube and 35 square. Okay, I'll continue the sum here. Find 24 cube. Is, see, the square of 24 is 576 and the cube of 24 is very big number, 13824. So this 24 cube is 13824 and the power is 1 upon 6. Here 35 square. 35 square is 3 4s are 12, 1 2 2 5. It is 1 2 2 5. See, 35 square is 1225 raised to 1 upon 6. So basically I've made the power same. Once I've made the power same, my last step, I can now compare the numbers. Which number seem to be bigger? 13,824 is bigger. So I'll write 13,824 is greater than 1,225 raised to 1 upon 6. So this 13,824 is nothing but square root of 24 is greater than cube root of 35. This is my final answer. Okay. So there are only two sums based on this compare theory. Okay. Copy the sum. Next. Now we completed question number 15. Now question number 16 to 19 are a different type of questions, typical questions, which have a separate method. So first I'll complete the question number 20, the last one, and then we'll do 16 to 19. Okay. So first let's do question number 20. Why 20? Because it's a very easy question, very basic level question. So the question is like this. The first part is fifth root of 16 into fifth root of 2. It is just basic simplification, nothing else in this question. So I have fifth root of 16 and fifth root of 2. Both are fifth root and there is a multiplication sign. So I'll write a common root. Fifth root 16 into 2. See, when both roots are same, you can write them as common root. Okay, because there is a multiplication sign in between. So this is written as fifth root of 32. Okay. So this is nothing but fifth root means what? 32 raised to 1 upon 5. Correct. Fifth root means 1 upon 5. We have done in indices also, and right now also we did this. Now 32. I've told you to remember 2 cube, 2 raised to 4, 2 raised to 5, 2 raised to 6. Certain value you must know. So 2 raised to 4 is 16 and 2 raised to 5 is 32. So 32 can be written as 2 raised to 5 into, in the power I have 1 upon 5. This 5 will get cancelled and I'll get 2. My answer is 2. Okay. I hope you have understood. Copy the question. The second one is fourth root of 243 upon fourth root of 3. Both are fourth root, so we can write a common fourth root. 243 upon 3, common fourth root. Okay. Now I can cancel this. See, 3 1s are, 3 8s are, and 1s are. So I get 81. So basically I simplified it to fourth root of 81. Okay, fourth root means 81 raised to 1 upon 4. And this 81 raised to 1 upon 4, this 81, see, 3 square is 9, 3 cube is 27, and 3 raised to 4 is 81. You must remember these values. This will help you in indices as well as in this chapter. So 81 can be written as 3 raised to 4 into 1 upon 4. This 1 upon 4 will come as it is here. In the place of 81, I wrote 3 raised to 4. So this 4 got cancelled. My answer is 3. Basic simplification. Okay. Next. Three plus root 2, 4 plus root 7. This is my question. You have to just open the brackets here. Nothing else. A simple opening of brackets. So this is 3 into 4 plus root 7 plus the second term root 2 into 4 plus root 7. Okay. Just open the normal brackets. 3 4s are 12. 3 into root 7 is 3 root 7. Root 2 into 4 is 4 root 2 plus root 2 into root 7. The numbers get multiplied. 2 7s are 14, so it becomes root 14. This is my answer. That's it. And in the fourth one, it is root 3 minus root 2 the whole square. So a minus b the whole square. What is the formula? A square plus b square minus 2ab. So a square means first term square. So first term square is root 3 square plus b square is root 2 square minus 2 root 3 into root 2. This will become 3 plus 2 minus 2 root 6. Root 3 into root 2 is root 6. So 3 plus 2 is 5 minus 2 root 6. This is my answer. Basic application of expansion formula. Okay. Copy these two sums quickly, then we'll do the important ones, that is from question number 16 to 19. See, in question number 16 and 17, we have to insert irrational number between the given two numbers. And in question number 18 and 19, we have to insert rational number. So there are two questions based on inserting irrational numbers and two questions based on inserting rational numbers. Okay. Now you will learn something very different, which are only used in these four sums, nowhere else in the chapter or in the subject. Okay, this topic, but you have to remember it for these four sums. Okay, these sums are not very important sums. Only seldom have they come in your exams. Very less. The 1C exercise, as I told you, is most important exercise, but still they are there in the syllabus, so we'll have to do it. So 16-17 is about inserting irrational number, 18-19 is about inserting rational number. So how to do it? Let's start with the 16th sum. Okay, inserting irrational number. So the sum is insert irrational numbers between 5 and 6. We have to insert irrational number between 5 and 6. Irrational numbers. What are irrational numbers? Irrational numbers which are in root. Irrational numbers are numbers which are in root 2, root 3, root 7, root 8 are irrational numbers. Okay. So I want to insert irrational numbers between 5 and 6. So what I'll do, I'll write 5 and 6 in root form. How to write 5 and 6 in root form? See, 5 can be written as root 25. Square root of 25 is 5. I'm writing it purposely in root form. Okay. because I want irrational number. 6 can be written as square root of 36. I have not changed the value, I have just changed the representation. 5 can be written as square root of 25 and 6 can be written as square root of 36. I want to insert two irrational numbers between them. Okay, so you can use any number between them as your answer. Any number means you can write root 26 as your answer, root 27, root 28, root 29, any number, root 35 till root 35. The number must be between root 25 to root 36. So you can use any of the two numbers as your answer. That's it. Sum is done. We have inserted irrational numbers because root 27 is irrational, root 26 is also irrational. These are all numbers because they are not perfect squares. So they are irrational numbers. We have inserted. So your answer can be, you can write any two numbers from this range, root 26 to root 35, any two numbers. For example, I'll write the first two, root 26 and root 27. This is my answer. I have inserted two irrational numbers between 5 and 6. How I did? First I wrote them in square root form and then I inserted randomly the numbers between them. Okay. Copy this. Besides the question, see where you have the question number 16 written, there is some empty space after 5 and 6. Write there that convert in your textbook itself, convert in root form. In the brackets, in the textbook only, beside the question number 16, write convert in root form. So when you revise, you will recollect this hint. So question number 16 is done. Insert 5 irrational numbers between 2 root 5 and 3 root 3. Okay, 5 irrational numbers are to be inserted between them. First, let's send this number inside. They are already in root form. Let's send this number inside. So this 2 when will go inside, it will become 5 into 4. See, this is square root, so 2 will go inside and become 4. This 3 when go inside will become 9. Okay, so this is root 20 and this is root 9 3s are 27. Now both the numbers are in root 20 and root 27. We have to insert 5 irrational numbers. Okay, so let's start inserting. After root 20, I can take root 21, root 22, root 23, root 24. See, now I cannot take root 25 because root 25 can be solved and it will become 5. Root 25 is 5, so I cannot take this root 25. Remember, we want irrational numbers. So after root 25, I will take root 26. Because my range is from root 20 to root 27. So I've got 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my answer. Irrational numbers between root 20 to root 27. I hope you have understood the two sums of how to insert irrational number. Okay. In the next two sums, we have how to insert rational numbers. That is more complex. This was easy. So first copy this. Now, last two sums, insert rational number. Okay. Now the steps which I am going to teach you, you have to learn those steps because there is a trick, there is a method by which we can insert rational numbers. Okay, and this is a very typical method, very different from others. So you have to remember the steps. Okay, now How to do it? See, whatever numbers which are given to you, they'll always be given in root form. Okay, between root 2, root 3, between root 3, root 5, root 7, root 8, anything, they can give you any two numbers like this. We have to insert rational numbers. Okay, so what to do? Listen, this 2, whatever number is given here, you add 2 zeros to it and just write like this. Root 2, that means nothing but 200 and 300. If you have 4, it will become 400. If you have 5, 500. Okay, so I wrote 200 and 300. You have to find perfect squares between 200 and 300. Wait, I'll write here. Finding perfect squares between 200 and 300. What are perfect squares? See, first step was, I'll keep writing the steps also here. I'll write like this. Multiply with 100. First step was multiply with 100. Now 200 and 300. Perfect square means what? Try to find a square which is between 200 and 300. Any square between 200 and 300. See, I'll tell you how. For example, the square of 10 is 100. 100 is not between this. So let's try 12. Square of 12 is 144. Not between 200 to 300. Okay. Square of 15. Square of 15 is 225. 225 is between 200 to 300. So I'll write here 225. Okay, we want to insert two irrational numbers. Okay, we have to insert two irrational numbers, so I'll write two numbers between them. So 15 square is 225. Let's try 16. 16 is 256. Again, it is fitting within the range. Our range is 200 to 300. So next number I got 256. So I got the two numbers. Now how to use these numbers? Squares between 200 and 300 are 225 and 256. I'm writing in statements. Okay, this is rough work. This you don't need to show. Okay, squares between 200 and 300 are 225 and 256. Therefore, you have to directly write the answer. How? Between root 2 and root 3. Okay. The numbers which must be inserted are this 225. See, we had multiplied with 100. So this 225 will be written as 2.25. You have to put a point after one number directly. Because the number was multiplied with 100, now we'll divide with 100. So 225 upon 100 becomes 2.25. And 256 upon 100 is 2.56. So directly remember, whatever answer you get, just put a point after one number. So 256 becomes 2.56. 225 becomes 2.25. This is how we insert two irrational numbers. I'll repeat. See, first multiply with 100. Okay. Then find perfect squares in the range, in the given range. I'm writing the steps for you here. Okay, and then put decimal point. Whatever answer you get, 225, 256, put decimal point. 2.25, 2.26. That is your answer. You can even check your answer in the calculator. How? Root 2, the value of root 2 is 1.414. And the value of root 3 is 1.732. Okay, so your final answer is not this. Final answer is that root of this and root of this. Final answer is this 225 was the square of which number? 15. So my answer is 1.5. And 256 was the square of which number? 16. So my answer is 1.6. This is my final answer. I'll repeat. See, whatever two squares you get, you got 225 and 256. Okay. 225 is the square of 15 and 256 is the square of 16. So this 15 will become 1.5 and 16 will become 1.6. That is your answer. Okay. See, it is very different. You won't be able to find logic in this sum also. But try to remember the steps. Use these steps. Okay. And just make sure that whatever number you write here, 225, 256, those two numbers are not your answer. They are the square of which number? They are the square of 15 and 16. So this 15 and 16 will come here. 1.5 and 1.6. So we checked that root 2 was 1.4 and root 3 is 1.7. So see, these two numbers are between root 2 and root 3. Okay. Copy this sum properly. Don't copy this part. Rational numbers between root 3 and root 5. I'll follow the same steps. See, I'll write root 3 and root 5. First step was to multiply with 100. So 300 and 500. Okay. I have to insert three rational numbers. So I'll find three perfect squares between them. Okay. So start doing randomly. Let's say I take 20. So its square of 20 is 400. So yes, 400 is between them. Then I'll take 19 because 19 is also near. So the square of 19, when you find the square of 19, you'll get the answer as 361. Okay, square of 19. So I can write here 361. And after 20, I'll take 21. Okay, you can take any other number also, but it should be between 300 to 500. So 21, let's take. The square of 21 is 441. So I found three squares between 300 and 500. Okay. So you got these three numbers. Now this 361 is a square of 19, 400 is a square of 20, and 441 is a square of 21. Correct? So my final answer is root 3 and root 5. The numbers between root 3 and root 5 are this 19 will be written as 1.9, 20 will be written as 2.0, and 21 will be written as 2.1. That's my answer. Two important steps. First, find the squares, and then these squares are of these three numbers. So just put a point here, and those numbers are your answer. This is how we insert rational numbers. Okay, I will advise you to watch the videos once again, because this is some kind of a different sum. All the questions, basically 13, 14, 15 till 19, are typical questions. A bit different from other questions, so better you watch the video again and then solve it one more time. It will help you to remember the concepts properly. Okay, then we'll have a test also on this chapter, which will further clear your concepts. Okay, that's it for today. We have completed exercise 1C, 1B also. Okay, thank you.